Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So today's video I'm so excited to do. I've been thinking about this one for a while, and as you might know if you've been following me since the start of my channel in March of 2020, the kind of reason why I started this channel was to give information about our Disney cruise and kind of put the video, and I wanted to kind of share my experiences. So I've been thinking about doing this type of video, and I finally sat down. I did reach out to a couple travel agent friends of mine, Christy from the DCL podcast, who's also Pack Your Pixie Dust, I think it is, as well as Annette from Touring Plans Travel, also helped me with some of these items. So this is 10 things I wish I knew before going on my first Disney cruise. And the reason why this is specific to Disney cruise is my husband and I were avid cruisers. My first cruise was in 1999. I believe it was on Princess, and I think it was the Grand Princess. And then I started cruising again, and been on a couple Celebrity, another Princess, but my main cruise line was Royal Caribbean. So much that we went on, part of our honeymoon was on Royal Caribbean, our first anniversary was on Royal Caribbean. We did a lot of Royal Caribbean cruises, and we love Royal Caribbean. We love cruises. Actually, I'm getting ready to go on one pretty soon on July 2nd. I will be on the first Royal Caribbean cruise out of the US after the shutdown, so I'm very excited about that. But we decided to do a Disney cruise, and specifically Marvel Day at Sea. Now the Marvel Day at Sea cruises leave out of Miami. We did do a Disney cruise for my son's first birthday. His very first birthday was actually on the Disney ship, so on the Disney Dream. And I learned, I had no idea. I booked it myself, I booked it on the website, didn't do a travel agent, and I'll talk about a lot of the things I learned on that cruise. But then even then again, when we booked the Marvel, again, I booked it myself. And actually I did have a travel agent, but it wasn't a Disney specific travel agent. I'll talk about that as well. And again, I learned a lot of things once I cruised. And that was kind of the evolution of my channel as far as why I wanted to do this channel, because I wanted to give that information of things I learned, because cruising on Disney Cruise Line and cruising on a regular cruise line are very different. And like some things are the same as far as, just, embarkation. A lot of that stuff is the same. Port, shore excursions, etc. A lot of those things are the same. However, there are some things that are specific to Disney Cruise Line that I wish I knew before I cruised. So that is what this video is today. Long introduction, but that is what we're going to be going over today. Okay, so these aren't in any specific order, but number one is definitely the number one thing you should know before, I wish I knew before booking a Disney Cruise Line. So number 10 is that Disney Cruise Line has a tiered pricing system. So this means that the earlier you book, the better. So prices, they don't usually get any lower than opening day. Now, occasionally there are some military rates or Florida resident rates, but typically, and if you hear some screaming in the background, I have a 5-year-old. It is what it is. But typically the prices don't go any lower. I know with the Florida resident rate, usually they're still lower on opening day. So the key is to book as early as possible. They don't get any lower. Even last minute booking specials don't generally get lower than the prices that were offered on opening day. So opening day, or as soon as you know you want to book, that is why you hear like when the itineraries are released and the booking dates are released, that everybody at kind of, travel agents kind of block off their calendar because they're going to be on hold all day. That is why, because the earlier you get in, the earlier you book, the better the rate. So basically, I think it's like as 10% of the ship fills, the prices go higher. Another 10%, the prices go higher. So kind of think of it as that. I don't know if it's 5, 10, 15, whatever the percentage is, but as the ship fills, the prices go higher. Again, the prices if you can get some great rates, but again, you don't know if those are going to be offered, and those are usually closer to the sailing date. But then a lot of times they're still not better than the opening day rate. So really important with Disney Cruise Line, book early. So number 9 is kind of also another tiered, so this is going to be a little confusing, but so Disney Cruise Line has tiered booking windows for new itineraries and experience booking. So basically, if you're going to be booking let's say the meet and greets or any shore excursions, there's a tiers booking window. So the higher your status with DCL, the earlier you can book. So early access to activity planning, advanced access to online booking for cruise activities, including specialty adult dining, character greeting, the ones that require tickets, and port adventures and more. So I know one big thing is the Palo brunch. I know on our magic sailing that filled up before it ever got to my level, which is silver. So a lot of things fill up before. And when I went on the Disney Dream, I didn't know, because I didn't have a travel agent, I didn't know about this. So I found out when Disney Cruise Line emailed me saying, hey, you can now book your activities. But at that point, so silver is 90 days prior to sailing, gold is 105 days prior to sailing, and then platinum is 120 days prior to sailing. I was no status at that point, so I found out after everybody else, and everything was booked. All the character meetings were booked. I couldn't get anything. We didn't, I don't even think we booked any shore excursions on that trip. It was a short 3-night trip, but I didn't have anything. And that was because I didn't have a travel agent to tell me, hey, you can book now at this point. And then when I did find out through Disney Cruise Line, it was already 12 hours behind everybody else. So everything was pretty much gone. So number 8 is that there's going to be, obviously you go on Disney Cruise Line for the character meets. So one of the things is there's a character meet in the terminal. So when we first went on the Disney Dream, I thought, oh, okay, I saw it, but I wanted to get on the ship. I wanted to get on the ship with my son, wanted to get on the ship as soon as we could. And so I said, I'll skip it. There'll be other meet and greets once we get on the ship. Well, there weren't any until later in the evening. So that was really the only meet and greets that we could do early on that first day. And it was only a 3-night cruise. So there was some later on in the evening, but then that was when we were getting ready for dinner, or we were, at dinner. So I really regretted missing that character meet. So my advice to you is don't skip the character meet in the terminal. It's a unique picture. They had a beautiful backdrop at the one in Miami. And another thing I learned is that the characters rotate every 30 minutes. Now, when we got to the Magic, we were really early. So we were in line for Mickey, and then right 2 people before us, Mickey left and Minnie came out. So my son was really disappointed. He really wanted to see Captain Mickey. And the photographer saw, and he's like, you know what, he'll be back in 30 minutes. So about 10 minutes before, I waited 20 minutes, we took our picture with Minnie, and then about 10 minutes before I knew they were going to rotate, I got in line, and then literally as we were next in line, Mickey came out and we got our picture with Mickey. So we actually got pictures with both of them. So keep in mind that they rotate every 30 minutes, most likely, and the line actually moves really fast. So my advice to you is you'll have plenty of time to get on the ship. Wait for that character meet. It's a really easy one. It moves really fast, and you're gonna regret not getting that. So don't skip the character meet in the terminal. And then also, if it's Mickey or it's Minnie and you want one of each, you can wait, and they rotate every 30 minutes. Okay, number 7, and this again is about character meets. I've kind of touched on it before, is that, again, this is why you book the character meets. They're throughout the cruise. The lines are long, and they're going to be very long. And while you'll have some really great interactions, kind of pick and choose which ones you're going to go to. And I will say the 3-night cruises on the Dream, or which will be the Wish, those are going to be the worst because you have the most amount of people and the shortest cruise. So people are trying to maximize their time. We found that the lines on the Magic in a 5-night cruise were much more manageable than the ones on the Dream when we did the 3-night cruise. So keep that in mind. Pick and choose which ones you want to do, whether it's want to be one with every character. If there's there's a pirate night every night, pirate night. Captain Hook, the really unique characters that only come out every once in a while, those lines are long. Get there early. If it says that they're going to be there at 1:30, get there at 1. There will be people camped out. Also, another thing that I didn't learn until after was that the character meets, that some of them are ticketed. I didn't know that when I booked on my first cruise. And then I was like, oh, I don't need the shore excursions. We're probably not going to do shore excursions. And when I finally went into the planner, I realized, oh wow, the Frozen meet and greet, the Princess meet and greet, those are all ticketed events, and they were already sold out by the time I went in. So you do need tickets, and I will talk about a little bit on how you can get tickets if you didn't get them online. But there really is, and I know that on the Dream specifically, I saw kids that didn't get tickets for those meet and greets and were very disappointed. So make sure you know that to get those tickets, because you're not going to be able to get in most likely if you don't have a ticket. Now, number 6 is the last one regarding character meets, but I think this was one that I wish I had done differently. And this is specifically about the Day at Sea cruises. So again, those ticketed meet and greets, they have special ones on the Day at Sea cruises. So we did the Marvel Day at Sea, and the two that were ticketed were Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as I think it was Heroes of New York, which was Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Black Panther. And those meet and greets, so I booked them obviously on Marvel Day at Sea. So the Day at Sea, I booked those meet and greets. What I noticed when I was going through the calendar was that those meet and greets were also offered on another day. There was one other day on the cruise that those meet and greets were offered. Just one other day. They had the same setup. And I was like, no, I want to do it on Marvel Day at Sea. It's kind of that Marvel day. Well, I regret that. And there's a reason why. Because there's so many meet and greets on those days at sea. We've stood in line forever for Captain Marvel. And then also Captain America, Thor. I think we never got to see Loki. We never got to see a lot of characters because we spent a lot of time. And even though they were ticketed, you did have a wait. I think we had, you can refer back to my video, but we did have a little bit of a wait. Groot was a very quick one, but Marvel, the Heroes of New York was a good wait. I think it took us about an hour, and we wasted a lot of time where we could have done those meet and greets on another day and save those times for the time of doing the other, the meet and greets that had no tickets. So that's what I would say is if you're doing a Day at Sea, more likely than not, they're going to offer those ticketed meet and greets on an alternative day. I recommend doing those ticketed ones on the alternate day, which will leave more time for the other meet and greets that have no tickets. Now, number 5, this one comes from Christy from DCL Podcast and from Pack Your Pixie Dust. She's a travel agent, and she told me that you can request Mickey bars via room service at no additional charge. So actually, room service on Disney Cruise Line is free. A lot of cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean, do have a small fee for room service. However, Disney Cruise Line does not. However, you do need to tip the server, so make sure you tip, but you can order Mickey bars through room service. And then she also put room service is always free. You can also get Mickey bars for dessert in the dining room. They are on the kids menu, but anyone can request them. So really great thing. And actually we did know this because we did get a Mickey bar, and my son's very first Mickey bar was on the Disney Magic. It was a mess, but he absolutely loved it. But you can order Mickey bars in the main dining room or through room service. So number 4 kind of goes hand in hand, and that is Facebook groups and fish extenders. So my first cruise on Disney Cruise Line, on the Disney Dream, did not join a group, didn't even think about looking in Facebook. And I really, after finding a group in the Disney Magic, I realized how much we missed out on that first cruise. So if you just go on Facebook in a group, you just look for Disney Magic, the date, and you're probably going to find a group with your sailing. So you'll get to meet other members. You can connect with other families that may have kids the same age, kind of coordinate. I met a great family with a son that was a similar age as Ryder, and we ended up renting a cabana together on Castaway Key, which was fantastic because it split the cost. And, they also got to play together, which was great. The other great thing about Facebook groups is they have these things called the fish extender. Oops. the bug. The fish extenders, they are basically a guest organized secret Santa, and someone in the group will organize it. And I had no idea. I had heard about it through friends, and I remember seeing the staterooms decorated on our first sailing, but I really had no idea. Then you learn, and you can buy like a fish extender holder on Etsy. I found one on Etsy, but you can find them. You can even find some on Amazon. They're not as fun. Like Etsy ones are a lot more fun, but you can, and basically there's like a little hook that's like a fish that they put in like mails, the mailing that you get, like when you get like a note or something like, hey, these are your tickets for your shore excursion. They're going to be in that, it's basically a fish. So it's like you hang something down where people can put in gifts. So I joined a group. It was a lot of fun, but it also can be stressful because you are having to find gifts for kids that you don't know. And people go really all out. We got some amazing gifts. It was a lot of fun for my son. He didn't have so much fun delivering the gifts. I ended up doing that myself. So keep in mind that you do have to go and deliver the gifts. But one of the things I did was for all the boys, I got golden books of Marvel. And then for the girls, all but one of them, I did ask if they had their ears pierced, and I was able to get pretty princess earrings from the Disney character outlet, and they all got earrings except for one, and I found a different gift for her. So it was a lot of fun doing, but it was a little stressful. And then keep in mind, if you're having to fly to the port, we drive, so it wasn't a big deal, but if you have to fly to the port, you do have to, carry all those gifts. So keep that in mind, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun doing it. And then, we met another family. They were like, oh, you're the family that gave this and you're that one. So it was a lot of fun. So you connect with people. They recognized your face, like, oh, I recognized your Facebook, profile pic. So it's a lot of fun, the Facebook groups. And then you also learn a lot of things. If there's, something sold out and tickets open up, they'll be like, hey, I saw openings on this shore excursion, or tickets for the character meet. There's some openings now. So really great at sharing information. So find your Facebook group, join it, and then if you want to do the fish extender, it's a lot of fun as well. Okay, so number 3 is that you can request your dining rotation. So if you already know, Disney Cruise Line has what's called rotational dining. So there's 3 dining rooms and there's a rotation. So if on a 3-night, basically you visit each restaurant, 3 times. You visit each restaurant once over the course of a 3-night cruise. For our 5-night, we actually did one restaurant 3 times and then the other restaurants 1 time. So now you're not going to be able to request, like, I want to go to this one on this one, this night, this one on this night, and this one on that night. You can't do that because there is a certain rotation. But I knew for my son's first birthday, I wanted to celebrate his first birthday in the Royal Table, the Royal Table restaurant on Disney Dream. I wanted him to be a little prince on his birthday. So I did request that be our last rotation, our last restaurant on the rotation. And that was granted. So when we checked in, that was our rotation. So that was great. And then on the Magic, I knew that the Rapunzel's Royal Table on the Disney Magic has like a show. And I knew that I wanted to do that show the first night because I know having cruise, even though we've only been on one Disney cruise at that point, I know cruising in general can be exhausting. So I wanted us all to be really fresh for that show so we could really enjoy it. So I requested that Rapunzel's Royal Table be our first night on the rotational dining. It was granted. We actually ate 3 times and we spent I think Marvel Day at Sea was also in Rapunzel's, and it was fantastic and it was really great. So if you have one of those shows like Rapunzel's Royal Table, or I think there's one Tiana's, or on the Wish it's going to be Arendelle's, I recommend doing those on the first night because you're just fresh. So, but you can, just so you know, you can request, to be on a certain rotational dining. Okay, so number 2 is you can waitlist anything. And let me explain. So I talked about the character greetings, how we didn't have tickets. So I didn't get tickets. So as soon as we boarded the Disney Dream, and this was one of the reasons why we skipped the character meet in the terminal, because I just wanted to get on board, because I needed to get guest services so we could get our tickets for the meet and greet. So I put our name down. I said, we wanted tickets. I explained it was my son's first birthday. And then after the first night, the next morning, we had tickets for all the meet and greets. I guess they found that there was room, and we were able to get tickets for the Frozen meet and greet with Anna and Elsa, and then also the princess meet and greet. So we were able to get waitlisting. For the Disney Magic, I wanted a cabana. Well, I'm not in concierge. For that sailing, all the cabanas were gone as of the concierge being able to book. So they were gone well before anybody else out of concierge was able to book. So I do know that they hold some of the cabanas back. I think maybe one or two. So as soon as I boarded, I put our name down for a cabana. I did have like I said, I did have another family that wanted to join us. So, cause cabanas are expensive. It's like almost $700. So there's no way we could have afforded a cabana by ourselves, just 3 people. But we were gonna split the cost. So I went there, put our name down, and then the night before, or 24 hours before we were set to go to Castaway Cay, I got a call and said, we have a cabana available. We just wanted to confirm that you still want it. And we booked it, we had it. It was incredible. I mean, I understand now why people rave about having a cabana at Castaway Cay. It really does make a difference. I don't know if we'll do it every time because it is expensive, but we had a great time. A storm came through and we were able to sit in the cabana and just let it pass. And to the point where when we left the island, everybody else had left because the storm was pretty bad. So just know you can wait list anything when you're going on a Disney cruise. And the number one thing I wish I knew before going on a Disney cruise is to not only have a travel agent, but to have a Disney Cruise Line specialist. So I had a travel agent for our Magic cruise. She gave me a great onboard credit, but she had no experience in Disney Cruise Line. So then I was asking her, what's the best rotational dining on the Disney Magic? She had no idea. She had probably been on, I think she had been on one Disney cruise, but she wasn't a specialist. And that is key. When I tell you I'm a specialist at cruising, like I've been on a lot of Royal Caribbean cruises. I'm still pretty new to Disney Cruise Line. And even now, I feel like I know a lot more. Obviously, I'm making this video, so I've learned a lot, but I would still hire a Disney Cruise Line specialist travel agent anytime I'm booking a Disney Cruise Line cruise, because there's just ins and outs that are specific to Disney Cruise Line. They're gonna help. And I wish that I had just gone with a Disney Cruise Line specialist with no onboard credit. It would have been much better for us to have gone with a Disney Cruise Line, no onboard credit. Onboard credit's nice, but to have that specialist, I had to do a lot more research in the course of up to our cruise. I learned a lot from the Facebook group, but I did have to do a lot of research on my own that I could have probably relied on a travel agent, and that is what they're for. And remember, you do not pay a travel agent. The travel agent is paid for by the cruise line or by Disney. So that includes when you're going to Walt Disney World as well, but anytime you're going on a cruise, you don't pay them. You're paying the same exact price, whether you book it through the cruise line yourself or through a travel agent. But I would say get a Disney specialist travel agent. Like I said, I have 2 that I recommend. Obviously, Touring Plans. Touring Plans now has their own travel agency. They have some fabulous agents. They will put you in contact. I think it's touringplans.com/travel. I will put a link below, but they have plenty of travel agents that specialize in Disney Cruise Line, as well as Christy from DCL Podcast, and hers is she's on Instagram, Pack Your Pixie Dust. I'll put a link to her information as well. Both are great. So neither are sponsored. They're just become friends. And, they do bring a value to when you're going on a Disney Cruise Line. And Disney cruises are expensive. So you want to have that help to make sure it's the best vacation you're getting your money's worth. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 things I wish I knew before booking a or before going on a Disney cruise. Let us know in the comments below. Or is there anything else that I missed? Is there anything I don't know about? Like I said, I've only been on 2 Disney cruises, so there's a lot I still don't know, and I'm still gonna learn. I can't wait for Disney cruises to come back. They haven't announced when they're coming back, but hopefully they'll be coming back soon. I can't wait for the Disney Wish. I did not book a sailing on the Disney Wish yet. I will probably go on the Disney Dream because the Dream will be moving down to Miami, which is my home port, so that will probably be where we're going. We haven't booked on her either, but we're just really excited. We can't wait to go on another Disney cruise. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.